right, I'm going to turn some music on, then we're going to...
Fuck yeah.
The other day I had somebody who is the most mild-mannered person, and he got up and started dancing when the music came on. I was like...
Yeah, I'm judging you, bro.
I totally was judging him. No, I loved it. All right, here we go. Jesse and Aaron Inman, right?
That's how you pronounce it.
Nothing,
In English.
Nothing
Yeah.
in English.
I think it's Inman in German, but nobody really knows.
But you say...
Inman.
Inman. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Brilliance behind Lucky Rock Wine Company.
Oh, gosh.
I am not joking. I have the hugest brand crush on you guys, which is, this is part of why I love what I do, because I find super awesome people doing cool shit. And I'm just like, hey, I have a podcast. Do you want to come?
That's it, Aaron. Like, hey, you want to create a brand where people think we're doing cool shit?
Yeah, you are
like,
doing
yeah.
cool shit.
You know what's funny about doing cool shit is apparently you just have to be authentic, and cool shit's a lot easier. And that's what we've found too.
Right.
Quit faking it.
Also, though, can we come up with another word for authentic?
True.
Genuine.
Authentic
Ooh,
is
that's good.
It's
That's my favorite.
overused. It's overused.
Genuine is kind of like a
like
throwback
passion is
to
overused.
grandparents.
It's the best compliment I've ever been given was being called genuine.
That's a great compliment. I love the word authentic in the sense that it really does mean something. I get annoyed by people who take something that means something and they know that I'm just going to throw this in there, like any sort of copywriting or, and they're like, because this is going to make it better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make them authentic. Although I will say, watching you guys, I feel like you got it.
I think why that word for me, because I'm on board with you. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, I hate the word amazing. Sorority sisters ruined that word.
Amazing.
Everything's amazing.
I know. I
And
might
it's
overuse
not.
that a little bit.
That's okay.
It's okay. Nobody's
No,
perfect.
it's really
I
not.
just used
We'll judge you
authentic,
from
and it's
afar.
terrible, apparently. But like passion, I think I hate that
Manifest.
word, to be honest with you.
Oh man! Oh, that's another one.
Yeah.
I use a lot, and it makes me cringe every
Yeah.
time I say it.
Just manifest it. Super. I'm gonna
Just throw it in the universe, and then it'll land
Yeah.
in your lap.
shut up. Unless of course, you manifest things and go get them, Tiger. But
Yeah. It's
I went to Burning Man. The guy was like, and they're all kind of, cool, man. His name was Chrysicola, which is a pretty cool name, right? It's
Yeah.
named after a stone. And he was like, I'm just so tired of people saying fucking manifest out here. But then you walk by and there's like a whole band of women going, I want to manifest it as they go by. So he's like, oh.
well, Kim
Okay,
Kardashian could do it.
Right,
I
don't-
manifested money.
Hey, you know what I'm drinking? I'm drinking your wine.
Yeah, I like
Lucky
it.
I
Rock
love it.
Sauvignon Blanc 2000.
I have a super crush on your label too. Like, how proud are you of this?
9.5 out of 10 at least.
What would you give? What would give you the half?
Nothing, but nothing's fucking perfect,
There's things
No,
that are
it's a 10.
perfect.
It's a 10 out of 10. He's being modest.
Who? So this was a collaboration with whom?
It was a process. So, I mean, this is the second iteration of the Lucky Rock label. When we came out with the idea for the brand in 2013, it was Jesse's idea. It was kind of a collaboration, which I guess everything we do is. It was where premiumization was happening in our industry, where it was like, okay, people are trading up a little bit.
To what, like 2018, 20
The hot spot was like 15 to 25. And at that time, we had a brand that was 35 and up and one that was more $12.99 and under. And we were like, so I had been talking a lot about that price point with Jesse, and then Jesse, there's this authentic story of Lucky Rock is a mining company.
Genuine
that our
story.
dad. Did I say authentic again? Damn it, I'm such a piece of shit.
Pull yourself together.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Thanks, Mom.
Manifest something positive.
But that's essentially what it was. It was kind of like, hey, he brought up this cool story from our past that made sense. We knew premiumization was there, and we created a label, but it wasn't really like, we didn't put a lot of thought into it. It wasn't really us on a bottle.
It was kind of an outlet for our higher end brand, the stuff we couldn't bottle, and our less expensive brand. We kind of married the two, and we're like, okay, cool, we can put this out to the market. But it was, like you said, an afterthought.
And we were doing 300 cases of it. It was going just to restaurants. And then it was like, okay, 2017 came along, and we were both kind of like, okay, if we're going to do our own brand, like let's do let's be who we are on the bottle and in the bottle. Not literally, but and so that's when we started being like, yes. Oh, this wine is very salty.
There's a little of me in every bottle.
That's a certain acid.
Nope, she's drinking it right now.
Gulp.
And so to get back to the label, that 2017 vintage came on and we were going to redo this label, we said, let's do this like the way we want to do it. And that's when we said, let's go tattoo art. Let's do that. And we both immediately were like, that, sorry to anybody out there tattoo that gets offended by it, but it can be cheesy.
Especially if you throw a fucking snake on the label. It's like, ooh.
It can really ride the line of cheesy.
Right. Yeah. You got to be careful with it.
You got to be careful. And we were really cognizant of that. And so we hired, we were working with a consultant at the time, this guy, Doug Allen, who's now works more in corporate wine, but he kind of was like, hey, helping us redo this whole project. And he's like, I worked with this guy, Bill Kerr, who is it Brands by Vertical?
Made by Vertical.
Made by Vertical. And he brought him in. He'd worked with him on like Cuvera's redo and a couple other things. And right off the bat, he's like, this guy's really creative and can help, I think, with the process. And of all the RFPs that we sent out and he sent, we were reviewing, his was the one that was most expensive. But
I love how you used RFP right there, by the way, but we can circle back to that later.
Request for proposal.
I didn't know what that was.
No, we're really smart.
Now you're
now
super
they're out of
smart.
style, though. We were told, people don't do RFPs anymore. We just fucking learn what they are.
But that's how we do. We iterate fast.
Yeah.
So, to kind of speed up the story, so we get him, and then we're going through this whole process. We're storyboarding. We're putting all kinds of tattoos.
It was really
imagery.
fun, but messy.
It was fun, messy. Jesse would come in. I hate this. This is stupid. I'd come in one day
such a whiny voice, though.
This was, that's an older brother voice. Brother.
Wait, you're the older brother?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to. That was going to be one of my. That was one of my most important questions.
He sleeps on his face and smokes. I use a lot of day cream. And so we were using this storyboarding process. It's super messy. And there's some days he comes in and he's like, this isn't working. Some days it's not working. And then eventually it starts working. And we hire this guy through Bill, Derek Castle out in Nashville. And he takes our storyboarding ideas and starts putting it into illustration.
And he was stoked. I think he was normally like twice the price, but he's like, I want to do this. This sounds really great.
Yeah, I want to say we paid like $3,000 for the art, which at the time we were like, oh, that's expensive. But now in retrospect, it was
well worth it. And when you know what you get out of it and just what he does and the relationship that we I buy some of his art off his store just because he does really cool shit. He did stuff for like Miller High Life. He did stuff for Harley Davidson. He has done stuff for like
and he's from Nashville. That's just cool right there.
One of my favorite bands, Devil Makes Three, if you know them. He did one of their T-shirts. They're red from Santa Cruz, I think.
Yeah, he really started bringing it all together. And then once we saw it on the label, then we started playing with like some of the embossing and the foil. There's actually a lot of elements in there for being simple. There's a lot of elements in it. And so we were just, by this stage, to me, it's perfect. It's like,
it's beautiful.
It's perfect.
But the paisley just kind of put it over the edge.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We really,
it's about Lucky Rock Mining Company is what it's based on. And paisley is obviously like a miner's handkerchief. And so that's what the paisley was really important to put on there.
Man, you guys are brilliant.
So, and the one part I kind of glossed over there too is we also, in that process of Bill Kerr and getting to Derek Castle, we brought in a couple of tattoo artists. Justin Shaw, who owned Faith Tattoo in Santa Rosa, has been tattooing us for 20 years. We brought him in to help us with some of the flash, and Jesse brought in
Mike Pritchett. Yeah, he owns a Matchless Tattoo in Sebastopol.
I think he sold it.
He sold the location, or I guess leased the location and moved it to South Sebastopol. But very different kind of tattoo
totally
artist.
Styles.
Yeah.
Like Justin's a tattoo artist first and foremost, and Mike I think does such awesome art, and then he's almost a tattoo artist second, but his tattoos are awesome because he's such an artist.
Right. It is an artistry, right? It's just, I don't know, how many tattoos do you have?
Oh God. this is sounds like, I have so many.
I actually go on percent of body now.
I don't actually count them. I don't know, it might be 50.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Is this one tattoo? Well, like half a sleeve? That's, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've got more tattoos covered up than some people have.
Open. I don't have that many. I'm going to get another one though. I interviewed Greg Rojas yesterday, and he's done four of my. I don't have that many. 4 or 5 or 3 or 4.
4 or 5 is
when you start
depending on the audience.
That's when you really win it over.
Depending on the audience, 4 or 5 could be a lot.
Yeah,
well, you know, there's one that I have that I actually forgot about. I forgot about the other day, and I was.
Can you not see
it? I can't see it.
Yeah.
It's on my rib cage. It's just kind of higher up, so I don't notice it as much. And it's probably my most treasured one because it's 3 elephants, and so I have 2 kids, right? So it's just like a mom elephant and 2, and my son, who is 5, and I think he was barely 4 at the time, maybe when I got it. And I remember getting dressed, and he looked at me and he's like, Mama, you got a new tattoo. And I was like, yeah. He goes, look, there's me. And I didn't even have to say anything. And he knew that
So
one of
he
the
sees
elephants.
himself as an elephant?
Yes,
No.
I know. He's the perfect little elephant.
I also have a tattoo on my upper rib cage that's got 3 elements. It's 3 bullet holes
with skulls
with
coming out
skulls
of
coming
them.
out of them. I call it my white trash tattoo.
Yeah, very wine oriented.
Whenever I start getting a little hoity-toity, I
You
just
look like
lift
you
up
pull out
my
your bullet
shirt and say,
wounds.
"You're trash."
Oh, hey, speaking of which, do you guys watch TV at all?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
Yeah,
Oh, I tried to watch it, but I couldn't. I knew it was quite an investment to get into it. So
Yeah.
I watched
quite a
it.
bit.
I started it over maybe even 2 years ago, and I only got a couple of seasons in, and then life took off with here, and I didn't sleep for like 2 years later. But I just during all this bullshit shutdown. No, it's not bullshit.
It's
I
not
don't mean
bullshit,
it's
but-
bullshit. That
Well,
it's,
I mean,
I
it's
just mean
okay.
that it's like
You do you, girl. You know.
I just mean we're all annoyed by it. Not that it's not legit.
I'm annoyed by certain parts of it, regardless of.
I
the
miss
health
people.
factors.
I just miss being with
Social
people.
creatures.
Like I'm just a person. So anyway, I've been watching Peaky Blinders, and now I'm dying. It's so good. It is so good.
I've heard multiple times. It's like The Wire. I've never seen The Wire. And everybody's like, "You haven't seen The Wire, bro?" Let me
Yeah, I
tell you about
haven't
it."
seen that
The
either.
Wire's good TV.
But I'm not usually a fan of shoot 'em up kind of stuff.
The heroine shoot 'em up.
Either.
Train Spotting, great movie.
It's both in that show too. But this is just fast. The photography is beautiful, and the acting, and I don't know. Anyway,
It's a
could
good
go
show.
on for
I
days.
could pinky blind for days, but
Hard to
There you go.
understand
So
some of
I
the
feel like you should
characters,
go
the
home and watch
Irish.
yeah.
What?
Hard to understand the Irish sometimes.
Yeah,
Is there subtitles on that bad boy?
you can have subtitles on Netflix. You should go.
you guys
You can. There have been a
They're
couple of
technically
things
speaking
where,
English.
yeah, it's just,
I
but
guess
they are
that's
hard to understand.
I lived in
sometimes.
England for a year, and I had a Scottish buddy, and he was a biochemist. He was majoring in biochemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you give that fool a couple of drinks on top of his, and he starts talking about biochemistry, I'm like, I don't know. What this guy's talking about. But then you start talking California, and you're like, dude, I was ripping some gnarl the other day. It was like, hella fucking stupid. And we talk fast, and we have a lot of slang, and a lot of my friends were like, I don't know what the hell you're
have
talking
no
about.
idea what you said. I worked in.
I simply said I bought a croissant at the bakery this morning.
And I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I worked with a lot of Europeans and British people and Australians for a long time in an industry that was basically international.
Porn.
And I will say it was porn.
Yeah, right.
I don't think I could survive in that business.
Same. For anatomical reasons.
Right. That's kind of where I was going for.
Like,
Have another-
hard left.
have
hard-
another-
hard cider.
Have another
the
drink.
The train's going to come back to the station. I can feel it.
Yeah. We're strong.
Right.
We're strong. At
So that's why we
back.
liked the wine label.
How long has Lucky Rock been a thing?
13. But as it's
13 years?
No, 2013.
Oh.
But as its current iteration with what I was describing with the label and the website redo and really just the philosophy and completely being genuine.
It's been in the making for 14 years, though. I guess ultimately.
I mean, we've been making wine or having our own brand for 14 years, but Lucky Rock is really, I call it Jesse and Aaron 3.0, because it's really when we kind of settled into our own skin.
Yeah.
We know the wine business now, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. It's just we've done it long enough.
we know stuff good.
And there's people that know some parts of it better than us, but
I'm not going to lie. He's super funny. I mean, you probably are also, but I think he's
It's
the
'cause
one
I'm a
that...
little brother. I'm like, please look at me. Please look
He's
at me.
the one that I'm always texting with. So I just want to laugh every time.
This portion of the podcast is brought to you by Barrel Brothers Seltzer in Place Black Raspberry. I follow them on Instagram. I try to interact with them, and they're like, "What's up?"
they've we've traded them wine.
love, guys. Give me some love.
Yeah.
We traded them some wine.
Yeah, no, I mean,
the
they're-
GM over there, Katie.
I just want some more love. Look at me.
She donated a bunch of beer. I'm the chair of the MBA, the Sonoma State MBA Alumni Forum. I got my MBA there, and she donated a bunch of beer, which I appreciate. Barrel Brothers, thank you.
They also donated some beverages to a couple of our events that we've had here, and I have a friend / photographer who is up in Santa Rosa, and he does a lot of their photography and stuff. So we've had a few.
And they're a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, a story about two brothers making booze, that's, I'm unfamiliar with that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I like it.
Right?
Something
I
sounds familiar.
love these Sonoma County booze
Well,
stories.
we did some kind of quote unquote commercials, I guess you'd say. And, there's named pretty much any winery and any commercial that they have, it's them. And it's like some rich white lady drinking their wonderful wine. And that's terrific. But we wanted to put all these brands,
Yeah.
these other brands that we thought were cool. Because when are you going to show up to a party? Not in the party that we go to anyway.
Right.
Promiscuous drinking, we call it.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that
I mean, how many
down.
times have we gone to a party and